Have you heard about the abduction of Japanese citizens by North Korea? This is not just an international issue. From the 1970s through the 1980s, ordinary people living peaceful lives in Japan suddenly disappeared. Behind these disappearances was a systematic abduction carried out by a state. Today, we will clearly and carefully explain the full scope of this serious incident. What is the North Korean abduction issue? This refers to incidents where civilians were illegally taken away by North Korean agents. The victims were ordinary people, students, housewives, company employees, none of whom were involved in political activities. The objectives were to force them to teach Japanese language and culture to North Korean agents, to use their identities for espionage activities under assumed names, and even to have them serve as spouses for North Korean spies. It is an inhumane and almost unbelievable reality. November 1977, Niigata City. A 13-year-old girl, Megumi Yokota, vanished on her way home from school. At first, it was treated as an ordinary missing persons case. Later, it was revealed that she had been abducted by North Korea. Following this case, similar disappearances were found to have occurred across Japan in places like Niigata, Fukui, Kagoshima, and Tokyo. September 17, 2002. Japanese Prime Minister Junichiro Koizumi visited Pyongyang for a historic summit with General Secretary Kim Jong-il. At that meeting, North Korea officially admitted to the abductions and offered an apology. North Korea announced that it had abducted 13 people, 5 of whom were still alive. In October of the same year, 5 abductees Kaoru Hasuke, the Ikemoto couple, and Hitomi Saga returned to Japan after 24 years. It was a moment that brought tears to the entire nation. North Korea claimed that the remaining 8 had died. However, the remains provided were found through DNA analysis to belong to someone else. The reported dates of death were also full of contradictions. The families were confronted with explanations too unbelievable to accept. The Japanese government has strongly demanded a reinvestigation, stating, "There is a possibility that other victims are still alive." As of 2024, the Japanese government officially recognizes 17 abductees. Of those, only 5 have returned. 12 are still left behind in North Korea. In addition, private investigations suggest that there may be over 800 missing persons, whose cases cannot rule out the possibility of abduction. The families of the abductees are aging, pleading that there is no more time. The families fight. The families have formed organizations such as the Association of the Families of Victims Kidnapped by North Korea and National Association for the Rescue of Japanese Kidnapped by North Korea, and have continued to appeal to the public. They have spoken in the Diet Parliament, lobbied overseas, and conducted signature campaigns for decades without stopping. They say, "Just one glimpse. We want to see them again, even if only once. That's all we ask." This is not an issue of the past. It is an ongoing human rights violation, continuing at this very moment. We must not forget. We must not let it fade away. Raising our voices, staying informed, and urging our government to act. That is the first step toward bringing the victims home. If your own family member suddenly disappeared one day and didn't return for decades, would you consider it someone else's problem? The abduction of Japanese citizens by North Korea. This is an issue that each and every one of us in Japan must foresee, an issue of Japan's now. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.